Behind me is Windsor Castle, a centuries-old symbol of royal tradition and one of the many homes of King Charles III. After the 7-decade-long reign of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, Charles now faces the daunting challenge of steering the monarchy into a brand new age. In this episode, we explore how his vision for a slimmed-down monarchy could impact one of Britain's oldest institutions and ask, what does the future of the crown look like in a rapidly changing world?
I think it's absolutely true to say that Queen Elizabeth II was always going to be a very hard act to follow. On the very night after she died, he made a very good, inspirational broadcast in which he put to rest a lot of the things that people were concerned about, particularly his relations with the Church of England. When he was Prince of Wales, if he said something, it always looked a little bit as if he was interfering. But suddenly, as a king, he could have discussions with people like Biden and Macron, one-to-one. He'd be encouraged to do so and to employ soft power behind the scenes. Of course, he did have the most unfortunate thing was that hardly had he become king and hardly had he got through the coronation, then he was struck down with this cancer, which meant to say that he wasn't able to engage with the heads of state in the same way or to travel. And that's actually must have been very depressing for him because he was doing a good job.
The British monarchy is both ceremonial and constitutional. Its relevance depends on how it balances tradition with modern expectations while remaining above politics. Over centuries, the monarch's political role has receded. Today, the crown embodies continuity, while political authority rests with Parliament.
The constitutional role of the Queen was, in a sense, a withdrawal of the monarchy from politics. That when it came to the appointment of Prime Minister, for example, one of the key prerogative powers of the monarch, that largely was given over to the political parties. The appointment of Prime Minister is, in a sense, now a ceremony. The decision isn't made by the King. It's political parties, it's Parliament, it's the electorate.
King Charles has signalled a slimmed-down monarchy, fewer working royals, streamlined engagements, but a continued focus on ceremony.
I always thought the idea of the slimmed-down monarchy was a very poor one and that it wouldn't work very well. Obviously, to begin with, it was a question of what I think they call optics. The fact is, what you need is people to be colonels of regiments, presidents, patrons of charities, to undertake all these things. And what was interesting was that at one point, when the King was ill, Prince William hosted a garden party and he got all his cousins to come along. And I believe, and I know people who went to that party, there was a lot of energy in the air because, you can pretty much predict the sort of conversation you'd have if you met the King, if you were lined up to meet him. But you certainly wouldn't be able to predict what Mike Tyndall was going to say to you, or Zara, or the York daughters, or any of them. So that was actually very successful. And the reason I think it was so successful is because it introduced energy into it. So what you do need with the royal family is lots of energy, lots of different generations doing different things. And sadly, at the moment, there aren't enough of them.
Public trust is essential. For the monarchy, transparency in finances and duties is as important as tradition.
Fundamentally, the monarchy is a public institution. It provides the head of state. And so those norms of politics should apply to it just like any other institution. I think, maybe there's a scope for clarifying a lot of this, because the idea of them being in it for themselves and not for the greater good is truly poisonous to the idea of monarchy.
The monarchy's survival depends on balancing timeless ritual with contemporary relevance, reflecting social change without undermining heritage.
I think the monarchy is never, ever completely in step with modern life. It's either a step ahead or a step behind. And I think usually it's better if it's a step behind and then moves slowly forward, so you get a sort of transition which is gradual.
At the heart of all this is this idea of we live in a democracy, but that we still have a head of state by hereditary right. What the monarchy can do is update and reflect change, but it can never drive it.
King Charles III inherits a monarchy both ancient and evolving. Its constitutional role, ceremonial duties and public accountability define its place in Britain today. How he balances tradition with modern expectations will shape the monarchy's next chapter.